Venti was the first ever featured character in Genshin Impact, and after 4 patches, he's still unrivaled in terms of crowd control, and he's top tier when it comes to energy generation as well. He's amazing at traveling, getting over obstacles, and Spiral Abyss. Literally one of the best characters to start the game off with, which is why with the rerun of Venti's banner in patch 1.4, we'll be discussing the best 4-star weapons for him. Let's start off with the stringless, which has an amazing passive, increasing elemental skills damage and burst. This passive is the equivalent of getting more Anemo damage on Venti, minus the charge attacks that is, and because of the fact that elemental damage cannot be obtained as a subset, is exactly why it is so valuable and highly sought after. It starts off at 24% and goes all the way to 48%, and if you are able to get your hands on refinements, this weapon is gonna be huge. Stringless also provides a huge amount of elemental mastery, 165 to be exact, which equates to roughly 70% increased damage from swirl reactions. Keep in mind, elemental mastery scales diminishingly, so going from 100 to 265 will yield significantly worse results from 0 to 165. Finally, Stringless has an average base attack stat compared to the rest of the 4 stars. Overall, I would put Stringless as a solid S tier. In terms of damage, it's gonna be hard to beat because it's so perfect for a character like Venti that does mostly skill damage only. Next, we have the Blackcliff warbow. Much like other Blackcliff weapons, it's an insanely strong stat stick, being the only 4-star weapon that provides crit damage. It also has the highest base attack of any 4-star weapons, which is always just a nice bonus to have. On top of that, it provides an attack bonus whenever you defeat an enemy, which is nice but not the most consistent passive to have. Sadly, the crit damage values are relatively low, especially when compared to the other Blackcliff counterparts, such as the Spear, Sword, and Catalyst. Also, it only gives a little over half of what a max crit damage helmet provides. Overall, I would put it at a B tier. While crit damage is nice to have, the values are just not efficient enough to be considered valuable. Following that, we have the compound bow, which provides attack and attack speed bonuses when you land normal or charged attacks, along with physical damage bonus. It has the lowest base attack for a 4-star bow, not helping its case out much. Overall, I would have to say this is a solid D tier. Not too useful for an elemental based bow user like Venti. Next, we have the prototype Crescent, which provides attack percent as the substat, which is nice to have, but as we all know, attack scalings are pretty bad in endgame scenarios. On top of that, it has a passive that increases damage from charge attacks when attacking weak spots. While that is all well and good, it doesn't really go well with Venti's usual playstyle, which is spamming his abilities for damage. This weapon has an average base attack as well. Overall, I would say this is a D tier weapon. Hard to see any scenario where this weapon is good on Venti. Speaking of attack percentage bows, next up is the Royal Bow. Same base attack and attack percent bonus as the prototype Crescent, with a passive that increases crit rate whenever you damage an enemy, but removes the crit rate bonus when you land a critical hit. Personally, I've never liked the Royal series because I find the passive really silly. It's like Timmy telling his dad to get milk and acting all surprised when he doesn't come back. Overall, D tier as well. Next up is the Rust. Rust is an amazing 4-star bow. It also has the same stats as the Royal Bow and the prototype Crescent, which I'm sure you can tell where this is going. While it is an amazing bow, it just isn't amazing for Venti. Overall, not completely unusable, but not amazing. C tier. Next up on the tier list is the Sacrificial Bow. With the highest base attack for a 4-star bow along with energy recharge as its subset, the Sacrificial Bow is an amazing choice for support Venti. It has a 40% chance to refresh your elemental skills cooldown, allowing for quick bursts of energy generation, and it goes all the way up to 80%. However, it does come with a cooldown to prevent itself from chain proccing, but 16 seconds at R5 is still rather long. It also has a relatively low energy recharge substat, being 30% at level 90, about 2/3 of an energy recharge timepiece. Overall, still a very solid choice. A tier for sure. Up next is the Battle Pass Bow Viridescent Hunt. All of the Battle Pass weapons are amazing, and rightfully so. Being premium weapons that can only be purchased once every month and a half, it has an average attack stat, but an insanely high crit rate substat, reaching 27.6% at level 90. The passive from this bow works the same way as Venti's ultimate, which sucks in enemies in close proximity, only much less effective. While the passive vacuum effect isn't particularly useful on Venti, the damage from the passive is still nice to have. And having crit rate from weapons is always nice, helping out artifact requirements a ton. Overall, it's a solid A tier as well. Not quite S tier, but slightly better than typical A tier weapons. It's just the best stats stick out there for Venti. Then we have the Favonius warbow, which has the lowest attack of any 4-star bow, but has the highest energy recharge of any bow, even when compared to 5-star bows. The very embodiment of a support weapon, dealing no damage, but provides the most utility. It has a 60% chance to generate 6 neutral energy for your character every 12 seconds, and it goes all the way to 100% every 6 seconds. At R5, Venti basically generates 9 energy energy particles every 6 seconds without fail, 3 anemo particles, and 6 regular particles. This is actually completely insane for allowing your team to spam their burst off cooldown. Overall, definitely the best weapon for Venti at R5, but at R1, it's an A at best. So I'm gonna put it in the same tier as the stringless, but slightly behind, only because it really needs refinements to shine. Finally, we have the new patch 1.4 bow, the WindBlume Ode, which has the exact same stats as the stringless, a weapon I've rated rather highly. However, it provides attack instead of skill and burst damage, from 16% at R1 to 32% at R5. This bow, however, is an event exclusive weapon that you can upgrade all the way to R5 for free, provided you follow along with the event and complete all the tasks required. Attack is never a priority when building a character, especially in the late game. Because of the way multipliers work in this game, as long as you have a bit more bonus damage than your base attack, which you can see in your character menu, is when you should start focusing on other multipliers such as elemental damage increase or crit rate and crit damage, or even energy recharge and mastery. Overall, while it has the same stats as the stringless, it has a much inferior passive compared to the stringless. Therefore, I'm putting it at a low A tier, only because you can get R5 guaranteed. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be posting more Genshin related content in the future. And if you didn't agree with me, let me know down in the comments below about your thoughts. I know I've been away for about a week now, but that's because I've been dealing with some stuff in real life. And for anyone who's still around and supporting my content, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!